Welcome to the program. Talk to us about the biggest surprises that you see from this IMF report and what you make of it.
Well, for starters, the U.S. economy continues to impress. It's one of the strongest major economies in the world. And that's really sort of helping to revise these numbers upward. Stronger oil prices and exports, as you can see from Russia, are pushing it up as well. The latest data we have out of China was a little stronger than anticipated. We're still just not sure if that sort of peters out over the year, since most of that growth is really based on exports, and there's limits to how much the world can take in. But all in all, it's a surprisingly good report, and we see global inflation trending downward in most countries.
That's good to hear. Now, Joseph, of course, the Israel and Iran tensions have really taken a new slant over the past few days. What would that do to possibly next year's outlook?
Yeah, so there's just huge geopolitical risks that, markets are struggling to price in. We have the existing war that's dragging on between Russia and the Ukraine with no sort of end in sight. The latest attacks this weekend seem to sort of be a one-off. Israel's likely to respond. To date, it looks like that the major powers don't want a larger conflict in the Mideast. But you can imagine events on the ground spinning out of control. And so that's just a risk factor in the back of everyone's mind. And those are just the conflicts we see now. There's going to be unexpected events across the year that we're not even considering in other regions too.
Absolutely. And that is a scary thought. And just, when we see that headline, the global economic outlook and the IMF saying that the outlook for the world economy is brighter, our viewers will be thinking, what does this mean for my pockets? What would you say to them?
Yeah, so we're going to see strong economic growth. The challenge in some countries is like inflation, though it's coming down, is still sort of biting into people's pocketbooks. So in the long run, people are going to be better off. But when you're going to the grocery store, it's still a bit of an adjustment. But if you think about the fact that just a couple of years out of COVID, we're seeing this kind of strong growth around the world, we should feel really pretty good about it.
Joseph, one last question. Explain Russia's growth to us. Forecast at 3.2% from 2.6% projected in January.
Yeah, there's two pieces to that. Number one, oil prices are sort of held up. And, Russia is a petrostate. So when oil prices are higher, Russia does well. The other thing is they've tried to sort of limit or constrain the price that Russia can get in the market, allowing them to export because the world needs oil, but trying to kind of crimp the price.
But Joseph, the sanctions, haven't they bitten into Russia's growth at all?
No, they've turned out to be relatively leaky. A part of this is by design because we still want Russian oil so that prices don't push up still further and we get inflation. The sanctions are really designed to depress the price Russia makes to force them essentially to give a discount on oil. That's had some effect, but it's less effective than I think people anticipated.
Joseph, great to speak to you. Joseph Foudy speaking to us there from NYU Stern School of Business. Thank you for your time and your expertise on this IMF latest.